$500,000. That's the number, and I want you to think about what you would do with it before I tell you what I would do with it. Now, here are the rules. $500,000 cash to deploy. It has to be the Utah real estate market in today's market. No cheating. Going back to 2020, I'm gonna walk you through 3 options, break down the numbers on each one, and then give you my actual answer at the end. Not it depends, not all 3 are great in different scenarios, a real answer. And I want yours in the comments as well, because I genuinely think it's one of the most interesting debates you can have in real estate right now. Before we get into 3 points, 30 seconds of honest Utah market context. Migration has slowed, but it has not reversed, luckily. People are still moving here. The job market is still very strong. And here's the number that matters more than anything else right now. Roughly 60% of Utah homeowners are locked into a mortgage under 4%. That means they're not selling, which means inventory is tight, prices have held better than most expected, and the deals that do exist require you to be creative. The last part is actually good news if you know what you're doing. Creative deals are the ones most buyers walk away from, and that is exactly where the opportunity lives right now. Option number 1, value add multifamily. You're looking at a 10-plex priced roughly at 1.6 million. You put $400,000 down, then $100K into improvements. Again, this is assuming that you might have some reserves on the side, guys. We're just talking into a property specifically. Bringing units to market condition, taking care of deferred maintenance, and cleaning up anything that the previous owner let slide. Now, after the renovation, your equity is north of $300,000. That's in addition to what you put into it. And at that point, when you refinance, you pull your capital back out and you hold on to the asset that is cash flowing. You're left with a 10-unit property generating income, equity you force through your sweat equity, and capital back in your pocket to redeploy. This works in Utah because value add opportunities still exist in secondary markets. Adjacent to Salt Lake in Utah counties where appreciation has been meaningful, but not so aggressive that the upside is gone. This also pairs exceptionally well with a cost seg study. You're forcing appreciation, building equity, and reducing your tax bill at the same time. Option number 2, seller finance fourplexes. This is the strategy that I am most active currently today and where I have the most personal confidence. Instead of one deal, you spread across 3 different seller finance fourplexes. They can be turnkey, solid locations in high appreciating cities, cash flowing from day one. Capital split $165K down on each of the 3 deals. That deploys your full $500K across 12 doors instead of concentrating on one asset. Here's what makes this work. You're not going to the bank on any of these. You're negotiating seller financing directly with the seller. Now, usually I'm hesitant to say target this interest rate, that interest rate, whatever it might be, but I have yet to see a deal where it makes sense where it's over 4.5% interest. In today's environment where bank rates are in the high 6s and 7s, locking in 3 deals at 4% or lower completely changes what cash flow looks like. Balloon, minimum 5 years, longer if I can get it, enough runway to appreciate, stabilize income, and figure out my exit or refinance. Why fourplexes? Because 4 doors, there's 4 income streams. It's a manageable asset class and genuinely undercompeted right now. I also love that it's not quite commercial financing yet, and so it allows the resale value to be much easier. Option number 3, commercial warehouse on a triple net lease. This one might surprise people from a residential background. You can throw 35% down on a $1.4 million warehouse deal, roughly $490K down at a 6.5% cap rate, which in Utah is pretty normal right now. And for anyone familiar, a 6.5 cap rate on a $1.4 million asset is about $91,000 in net operating income. That's annually before debt service, right? So it's a strong income producing asset. And the beauty of this, the triple net lease structure, the tenant pays rent plus property tax, insurance, and maintenance. So you collect the rent and you're largely insulated from operating expenses, not fixing toilets or anything like residential. No maintenance calls, no turnover management. You're essentially a passive income collector, as close to passive income as we can say in real estate on a triple net. Now on financing, I'm actually open to traditional with commercial here. On a commercial deal, you are competing with investors, not homeowners. This brings up a whole complete different negotiating environment. So with that being said, Instead, I actually have a clean path towards traditional financing where it can still make sense in commercial, but of course, seller financing is always better. Now, this is not for everyone. Commercial has different learning curve and risk profile, but for someone who wants strong passive income with minimal management involvement, a well-located warehouse at 6.5 cap is a serious option. Okay, guys, now for my final answer, my actual answer, like I promised you I would. If I had $500,000 to deploy in Utah right now, I would pick option 2. The 3 seller finance fourplexes, 165K down, 4.5% interest rate or lower, 5-year balloon. Why? And let me remind you, they have to be owned free and clear on these seller finance. Now, why? I am getting 12 doors instead of 10. I like that. I'm diversifying across 3 assets in 3 locations, and I'm doing it with seller financing. I'm not fighting the rate environment at all. These deals cash flow at 4% or better in markets where nothing cash flows at 7, right? Now, I will remind you guys that the main reason that I'm picking this one is because my expertise. I do these deals all day long. I own them in my portfolio. I'm negotiating on several. It's just the comfortable side of it. Now, I am hoping to do more value add 10 plexes, warehouse deals. And so this answer could change, but for Tanner, today, this is my bread and butter, true seller finance, fourplexes. I know them like the back of my hand. There's a lot of confidence there. So the value add 10plex is really strong play, but it requires a lot of execution. It requires construction expertise. You need to buy right. You need to manage the renovation well. You need to time the refinance. There's a lot more that can go wrong, right? A different risk assessment, if you will. Now, the warehouse deal is genuinely interesting, but nearly all 500K on one asset with one tenant relationship. If that tenant leaves, your income stops, which I don't love that as much. Now, with warehousing, you can still have multiple tenants, which that's probably the avenue that I would go in that situation that I described earlier. But with commercial, usually the vacancies can be longer, and it hasn't been my bread and butter for as long. So that's my 2 cents there. That's my answer. 3 seller finance fourplexes, Utah market, today's conditions. Now I want yours. What would you buy with $500,000 in today's market? Does not have to be Utah. Drop it in the comments with your reasoning. I read every single one of these comments, and I will respond to ones that make a strong case for a different approach. If you want to understand how any of these strategies also work as a tax reduction tool for high earners, I have covered that in detail in other videos. Links are in the description. And if you want to talk through how this could work for your specific situation, I use strategy calls. The link is also in the description. I'll see you on the next one.